Hey there, gang. Welcome back to the Big Board. And we're looking at White Mountain, which is a scenario from the Saints in Armour module that's part of the Musket and Pike series. It's quite a mouthful, isn't it? The system is very new to me, and in fact it's the very first scenario I'm playing, and so I thought I would share with you, how easy it is to learn and what we've learned so far, and we're doing the very first portion of the very first activation in the very first turn. And this is one of those games where I thought, oh wow, after a quick read of the rules, it's kind of just like Great Battles of History. And it is, but it's not. And it has very well written rules, and they're easy to follow. There are, however, some definite nuances to the rules, and they're also, I would say, a reasonable amount, not an excessive amount, but a reasonable amount of exceptions. And some things are not immediately obvious when you actually first go to put your hand on a counter to move it. And I've already reset this up, and after realizing that my formations were going to run off the field if they were in normal format versus open order, for instance, because various terrain elements cause issues for your formations. They become broken over time, and over time broken leads to bad things, i.e. shaken, etc. So the opening moves, so where some of the challenges come, it's not the rules per se, because I think the rules are very well written. It's the choices you need to make, and this may not make it an easy game to play solo, because you have to kind of outthink yourself a little bit. And I'll give you an example of that here. So we had this cavalry unit, and he started toddling off up this way, because I always like to try and get the cav around the flanks. And this is an artillery unit here. It's a big 12 to 24 pounder guns, and they're unlimbered. And of course, there's a lot of opportunity fire, or what is called reaction fire. And reaction fire is triggered under a wide variety of circumstances. It's typically movement, or moving adjacent to you, or in the case of artillery, it's moving into what they call the graze range. There's two ranges on this counter. There's a 6 range. I'll just bring that up closer to you. There's a 6 range and a 17 range. And so the 6 range is the grazing range, and so this is conveniently about 6 hexes. So we fired, and we can only fire once with artillery, and we missed. So that then has freed me up to allow me to move up these other guys. Okay, well that's all fine and good. Well done. Now, if I had to fire that cannons at these cannons here, well then I would have had an opportunity to counter battery fire right back, a reaction fire straight back. So that's kind of a neat little mechanic. And if we come over here a little bit, let's see what's going on over here. I want to advance some of my forces up, and I want to start pressing on this hill. The combat factors are, that's 28 factors there, right? And these guys down here have 13, and their morale is also significantly better as well. So I think these big heavy units probably have a good chance at having a fight with those guys and doing well. So how am I going to get there? All right, well, I'm going to get there. I'm going to put these guys, probably going to leave them in normal order, not put them in open order. And I was thinking, well, I'll start moving those guys up. Well, you know what? I don't want to do that just yet, because there's these cavalry guys here, and these cavalry guys have a reaction range of 4. Well, alright, well, range of 4 from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I can only move 2 or 3, 1, 2 hexes, and boom, I'm in trouble. So I don't want cavalry running down there and shooting at my guys, and then whatever happens after that, you can close assault, but I imagine that the little cavalry unit's probably not going to close assault. It'd be a 1 to 4 or worse odds, which would be bad. So I thought, well, I'll try and suck up the interception action of this guy. These guys can also only intercept once a turn. Reactions can happen many times if you have just like a typical infantry unit. They can fire as many times as people trigger them. Cavalry can only intercept one time. That's their trigger. So they trigger off, and they run up, and they these guys both shoot each other. So these guys get to react to the interception, so they get to shoot. Okay, they fired their first pistol, and they inflicted a loss. And these guys made their morale roll of 7. They rolled under 7, and boom, they fired back, and they inflicted a loss as well. All right, well, let's see what's happened there. Now, I've done that interception, but I'm not done yet. Now what I can do is, very simply, I can do a close assault. Oh, that sounds cool. If I do a close assault, it's probably not called close assault, it's called close combat, but whatever. We have a melee. And so, these are all abbreviated, so I'm not even going to try and pronounce them. But I've got 5 factors attacking 1 factor. Well, actually 4 factors attacking 1 factor. So it's a 4-to-1 attack. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? I moved a couple of hexes, so I got some momentum, so there I get a +2 for that. They've got a leader, so we subtract 1 for the leader. And we're going to need a roll for casualties. Let's see if he died. And he didn't. Okay. And so then that leaves me with a net of something. I forget what it was. But we ended up with a net 3 because I rolled a 1, which is really awesome. But that means that the attacker is morale shaken. So the attacker retreats 2 hexes and the defender may advance into the vacated hex. Well, he's probably not going to do that because he wants to continue his movement. Anyway, so this dude now is shaken. And I think we just flip him over. I think that's what we do with shaken. And we put his pistol use. He's got 2 shots with his pistol. And once he's fired twice, 1, 2, he just retreats, I think, like that. He keeps the same facing. And off we go. So now we would then be able to continue moving if we wanted to with this dude. But I'm not going to. I'm going to sit pat there for a moment and then move some other units, because obviously the next thing I'd like to do perhaps is try and draw these guys into a interception, and then move up these other forces and bring the wing, these other 2 echelons of the wing forward. So that's a quick little look. Well, I guess that wasn't quick, it was 7 minutes. But the other neat idea here is that every wing is under a certain type of orders. These are under charge orders. And charge orders means that you always need to be moving closer to the enemy, and that you can move adjacent to the enemy and you can fire at the enemy. And if you're in make ready, as these guys are over here, they're in make ready. Hello, there we go. They're in make ready. And they're blowing trumpets and getting ready to play. And once they're out of make ready, they can then they can reform or rally, or whatever the case may be, and then they can convert to charge. There's an orders phase you go through. And these guys here are in a poor command situation, and they are in receive charge. And they're not allowed to move closer to units, but they're allowed to have combat with them. Interception is a exception to that. Rightio, so there's a quick little look. It's gorgeous. It's very thought-provoking. There's lots of little decisions to be made, and I have no idea what I'm doing, and we're having fun. So I thought I'd share that with you, and I'll pop this up so you can have a look, and we'll talk to you soon. I'll let you know how things go as we proceed.